tackle apart. They haven't done it yet today.
On 2nd and 15 toward the sidelines to Lofton, but again Atwater was there in the short zone, so Kelly had to loft it high over his head and therefore high out of bounds.
Well, that was not a good throw. Atwater did get his deep out.
As you see, the son of Bum, Wade Phillips, signal in the defense. Atwater and Smith, both these safeties go to the Pro Bowl this year. There's a lot of good ones at that position, but this is the best pair.
Wade Phillips, by the way, has turned into one of the great technicians in the game of football.
3rd and 15, a screen to Thomas, has some blockers, but then the defense closes in at the 20-yard line. A gain of only 5. Wyman Henderson, number 24, first to get there, and Buffalo will punt again.
Greg Cragen, out of the nose position, felt the lineman leaving on the screen, and he went right out there with him. He was waiting right with them. And that's the toughest thing about the screen pass. Defensive linemen can recognize the pass techniques on a screen, and they can go right out with the lineman as they leave.
Broncos out playing. Highly favored Buffalo thus far in the half, but still no score as Vance Johnson waits at midfield. Moore sends a beauty. Fair catch. Johnson back at the 31-yard line. A terrific kick of 49 yards. No return.
Images presented by Honda. Whose senses are so acute that they can determine which is more frightening, the moment of impact or the moment immediately before impact?
They say you can please some of the people all of the time, and all of the people some of the time. But you can't please all of the people all of the time. Or can you?
Diet Dr. Pepper tastes more like regular Dr. Pepper. When you want one, there's no stopping the taste.
The day may come when travelers don't care how much their luggage weighs. But for now, there's the Samsonite Lightweight. It's 25% lighter than the average soft-side suitcase. Because at least in the immediate future, the weight of the luggage you carry can still be a matter of some gravity. Samsonite, our strengths are legendary.
Off in the distance, Lake Erie. As you look at the first 5 possessions for the Broncos, a couple of punts, and then they had 3 chances to score. But misses from Treadwell's foot of 47, 42, and 37 yards. Now they begin from their 32-yard line. Denver's compiled 8 first downs to Buffalo's 2. Away a delay to Green. Gaston Green to the 34-yard line. On the sidelines, the man that Green replaced, Bobby Humphrey from Alabama, who had rushed for 1,000 yards in each of his first 2 years with Denver, a #1 pick, then held out. Didn't arrive till very late and into the season, into October, and Dan Reeves used him very sparingly. He carried the ball only 11 times for 33 yards, not in uniform today. He's healthy, but just at this point, Reeves said, hadn't played enough. I don't know if I can trust him. He might fumble. I'll stay with the men who got me here.
Well, Gaston Green's having a sensational year.
On 2nd down and 8, Elway on the roll. In trouble. Breaks 2 tackles. Still no one open. Now he throws and finds his receiver at the 47-yard line. It's Shannon Sharp, the younger brother of Sterling, the outstanding receiver of the Green Bay Packers.
I don't know to this day how Elway gets away with this. Look at him. He's going to roll all the way left. The play's designed to be out here. Now he avoids superior athletes. And he's not that fast at this stage of his career. And he can still find somebody and hit them. And my guess is right now Dick Elway can hardly break 5 flat in the 40, and yet he can make these great athletes missing. There's an instinct there that's so rare.
That was Bruce Smith and Cornelius Bennett that ran into each other trying to tackle him. The quickie outside to Sewell, who gets to the 50. A short pickup of 4. Shane Conlon and Nate Odoms on the tackle.
Well, the one thing they can do is get the ball to Sewell for not much, but they might be able to control the ball. Now, there was Conlon, who, by the way, has had a great season. People were really surprised that Shane did not make the Pro Bowl. Although he made it a year ago, this was by far his best season as a linebacker, as a professional.
I guess with Bennett and Talley, his linebacker teammates making it, it was tough to vote for 3 Bills, but Conlon certainly deserving. The clock, 2:30 left in the half. 2nd down and 7.
Sewell again.
And he dives to the 46-yard line, and it was Cornelius Bailey hawking Elway as he threw, and then Bailey downfield. Carlton Bailey making the tackle as we approach the 2-minute timeout. Sewell now with 5 catches, 67 yards. To be admired, as is his 31-inch waist, a 210-pounder, Steve Sewell. The 2-minute timeout.
John Nuveen and Company, we know the best resolutions are the ones you can keep. Ask your financial advisor how you can increase your spendable income with Nuveen tax-free investments. Or simply call this number.
Bugsy, nominated for 8 Golden Globes, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress, and Best Actor. Winner, Best Picture, LA Film Critics, and Best Actor, National Board of Review. Bugsy, rated R, now playing at a theater near you.
Hey, which one looks like your beer?
Right here. That one.
This is Budweiser. Here's Coors Extra Gold.
Oh, man, just goes to show you.
58% of Bud drinkers preferred Coors Extra Gold in a taste test.
Think they're right. Looks like a better beer.
And guess what else?
What?
Coors Extra Gold was a 2-time winner at the Great American Beer Festival.
I believe that.
Slow brewed for that real beer flavor and color, the way beer was meant to be, which may be why
Gold beats the Bud.
Coors Extra Gold. If you're missing real taste, beer is back.
Well, I'm gonna go get some of that stuff.
Next week is All-Star Saturday on NBC. First, it's Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, and the greatest stars in hockey at the NHL All-Star Game. Then, celebrities from the worlds of sports and entertainment tee it up with the PGA's best at the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic. Hockey's All-Stars and stars of all sorts, all next Saturday on NBC Sports.
And if you're just joining us at Rich Stadium in Buffalo, that score will have to stun you a bit. No score. In fact, the only serious opportunities have come when Denver has driven into Buffalo territory. They've missed on that 3 straight field goals by David Treadwell, all makeable from 47, 42, and 37. And they're in Buffalo territory again. A 3rd and 2. Fumble. And Sewell has fallen on it at the 47-yard line, shy of the first down.
And was the ball snapped to Sewell? It looked as though it was a draw play with a direct snap going to Sewell on the right. Now he's taken his, that's the tough thing about that kind of football. We had developed that with the 49ers and always had the problem. The ball carrier wants to see the blocking, and meanwhile here comes a ball toward him from the center. If he takes his eye off it, as Sewell just did, you've got a fumble.
Hit him right in the helmet.
Yeah, he wanted to you know, that's tough running inside against Buffalo. And he wanted to see where he would go when he got the ball.
The Broncos taking as much time as they can before the punt by Horan, so the clock is now down to 1:10. And they'll even take the 5-yard delay of game to spend all that time. So Buffalo not using a timeout. Remember, they had to spend one earlier in the half. And so Buffalo with 2 timeouts and 1:08 as they expect this punt from Horan. There's the expert on World War II history, Marv Levy, his idol Winston Churchill. And he has to be a bit back on his heels here at the defense of the opposition. What are they doing to stop this Bills high?
Well, everybody, when I say all the people available are slamming into that line of scrimmage on defense. Both clubs are using the same tactic that should leave wide receivers chances to maneuver down the field. Neither club's been able to get the ball down the field, something that both of them have done very well over the years, especially the Buffalo Bills.
Clifford hits deep as Horan will kick from just inside his 40. Beautiful high punt, fair catch hits at the Buffalo 13-yard line with Shannon Sharp right in his face. A reminder, at the conclusion of today's game, we'll be presenting the Keystone Beer player of the game. Well, they're in the spirit in Buffalo, and at halftime we'll have all the crew from NFL Live. Pleased that they're here with us at Rich Stadium to analyze the first half, as Bob is joined by Will Bill and one of the Buffalo Bills heroes, O.J. Simpson. Has O.J. stopped signing autographs yet? I'd just like to have a quarter for everyone he signed this weekend.
He ran out of people at our hotel and went to the next one.
Did he? Just hang around the lobby.
Yeah,
it's amazing how you'll be known.
They don't know him by face now. All they know is that voice, that big, deep voice.
It was inside to Thomas across the 15-yard line. And the clock is running. And apparently Marv Levy with the ball so deep in his own end. Now it's going to be Denver that's going to call the timeout, with 53 seconds left in the half.
Out of order.
Stairs.
Oh, you know what I could use? A Diet Dr. Pepper. Yes!
Diet Dr. Pepper tastes more like regular Dr. Pepper. When you want one, there's no stopping the taste with 100% NutraSweet.
Hey, help yourself.
NBC Sports coverage of the AFC Championship is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered.
Buffalo's high-octane attack has gone to regular, very regular, as the Denver defense has stopped them, holding Buffalo to 2 first downs, only 53 yards total in this first half. Thurman Thomas. Is he hit by Dennis Smith, the other safety.
Smith, Dick. Did you see that? I mean, that's all Ronnie Lott. Of course, both of them, Ronnie Lott and Dennis, played on the same USC football team. But listen. Oh, that's a hit.
Well, that'll make your
that is a major hit. And according to Wade Phillips, he's gotten more of those this year than ever in his career. Now, that may mean brain damage or something. I don't know. But he's selling out, just selling out into that line of scrimmage. And we spoke of both safeties being the key factors, because when they hit, they stop it.
He's the oldest of the Denver defenders at 32. He had 5 interceptions, his career high this year. He's always forced a lot of fumbles because of hits like that. And I think he's pleased that he's finally playing safety. One of the reasons Dennis Smith, and his eyes are a little watery too after that hit. One of the reasons why Dennis Smith is so highly regarded around the league is he's a safety that has played really a cornerback. He's been asked to do a lot of man coverage on a wide receiver in his career because of his speed.
Yeah, in his early part of his career, yeah, he got banged a little there himself. Woo.
So it is.
But earlier in his career, he was having to play like the third corner. Now he's just a pure safety and is teeing off on people.
On 3rd and 1, Kenneth Davis hit by Mecklenburg, and Denver spends its 3rd time out. Randy Robbins was in there too, and with 38 seconds left in the half, Denver's going to get the ball again.
Steve Atwater that time, Dick, he came ripping into that thing. Boy, has Wade Phillips done a great job with this defense. Now you'll see Atwater coming from our side of the field, showing up right there, right into the middle of it. Now, when you can add a 210-pound safety to a linebacker or a lineman that's making a stop, now you've really got some, some power.
Well, you said at the very start, Bill, what intrigued you about the game was Thurman Thomas, the yardage leader in the NFL with his receiving and rushing yards, against the 2 safeties of Denver, and Smith and Atwater have answered the ring, haven't they? O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson. His right hand is weary, but he's finished signing all autographs the rest of the half, and he's ready to go to work at the intermission. The 38 seconds, and of course enshrined here in the memories and permanently in Buffalo. Bill Lohr. Lohr's punt. Vance Johnson at the 41. And out of bounds at the 46, and a flag is down. They may have run into Moore. Charles, no, it's Lilo Lang.
Well, that'll give him a first down, I think. It's 4th and 4.
Oh, gee. Goodness, he barely touched him.
Oh, gee.
21. It's a 5-yard penalty.
Now, that wouldn't be called 1 out of 20 times in an NFL league game. Why that call was made, we would all wonder. No contact, no intent of injury, no attempt to damage. The punt's away.
So the Bills now with 29 seconds will be able to run out the clock, one would assume. They bring in Metzelars. That's an indication they're going to go to just give the ball and run. In fact, they have Andre Reed playing a safety position back at the 15. Listen to the fans in Buffalo. Some are disgruntled. They're used to a lot of points and lots to go with in that Kelly-directed offense, but Marv Levy wants them in the locker room to talk over how can we beat this Denver defense. Final seconds of the half. You see Ted Marchibroda in front of Levy, and a potential head coach in another week. He's one of the leading candidates for the Indianapolis Colts job.
I'm really surprised, Dick, that they didn't go for the Hail Mary kind of pass down the field. I really am.
So the end of a half. Surprising indeed. High-scoring Buffalo held to a scoreless tie by Denver.
The National Football League is concerned about many of the problems that affect our youth. Drugs, malnutrition, and the quality of education that they receive. That's why the NFL, through NFL Charities, has joined other business leaders to support America 2000, a community-based voluntary effort to create a new generation of American schools. Commissioner Paul Tagliabue.
The people in our league are local and national leaders who want to see that today's students receive the best possible education. That's why NFL Charities is involved.
The Denver Broncos have worked in partnership with the public sector, private business, and local volunteers to help our children. We have recently been involved with Colorado 2000, a statewide strategy to transform our schools into the best in the world.
Improving our nation's schools and educating tomorrow's leaders. That's the task before us. I'm confident that NFL Charities can help achieve that goal.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
He's unpredictable. He's unbelievable. He's unleashed. He's the biggest name in America. Now you'll see what all the shouting is about in his first television special. Garth Brooks, Friday on NBC.
To those people still reading the Post, I'd ask, still watching black and white TV?
Call 202-636-3333 for home delivery of the Washington Times.
You have a different view of life. You don't want to get bogged down in revolving credit on bank cards. All that revolving debt, all that outrageous interest. This is not for you. You know how to get out of that trap. The card, the American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
According to St. Aloysius Pastiches, a Sunday paper should be somber, black and white, and take 24 hours to read.
Maybe it's time for a change.
Reviewing the championship game.
Monday at 6.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report. Brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Nobody knows like Domino's how you like pizza at home.
And so, as they used to say around the old neighborhood, go figure. The Bills and Broncos play 30 minutes of football, a scoreless half. In last year's AFC Championship, the Bills led the Raiders by 41-3 at the half. So despite some missed opportunities with the 3 missed field goals, Denver is faring much better than that. Let's get halftime reports, beginning with OJ on the Bills side. Juice?
Well, Bobby, I guess you can. You said it the best way you can say it. Go figure. I spent the last 2 offensive series right on the Bills bench, listening to as the players came off the field. Each time the linemen were talking to one another, what did they do? Backs were saying, what happened? The Bills are totally confused. Whatever Denver is doing defensively, the Bills just haven't been able to adjust to it. They don't know exactly what it is. Everyone's saying, well, they're running basic defense. They're just playing good defense. James Lofton told me coming up to the tunnel, they're doing nothing special. They're just playing good defense. But it seems to be a lot of confusion, and you got to give the Broncos credit, and I think the Bills should feel lucky at this point. Will, what's happening on your side of
OJ, you're right in the numbers. I talked to 3 of the Broncos players. I asked Dennis Smith why you're having such great luck. He said 3 reasons, Will. Our pre-snap reads are great, which means their defensive coordinator, Wade Phillips, has done a great job looking at Buffalo during the week and figure out their different sets, what they will do out of those sets. He said, second, after the read, we're disguising our coverages. We're giving Kelly and those guys plenty of problems trying to figure out what we're going to do. And then we're playing hard and getting to the ball. I talked to David Treadwell, the kicker. He says, I'm just going to keep on kicking. I hit the ball well. The wind moved it a couple of times. I talked to nose tackle Greg Cragen. He says, we're right where we want to be. This is what we hope for. Now we feel we can win. Back to you, Bob.
All right, well, this is the first time all year long that Buffalo's been held scoreless in the first half and on their home field yet. And their offense has been so potent here at home. What is Denver doing?
Well, number one, Denver's defense hasn't had to play too much the first half. But in the first couple of series when Denver was on defense, Buffalo made a couple mental mistakes. They turned a couple of the Denver guys loose. Simon Fletcher had a real good sack here, you see right here. They just turn them loose. They don't account for them. And this kind of disrupted the Buffalo offense for the entire first quarter. They never did settle down, and they weren't able to sustain too much. But the main thing Denver's doing is they're mixing in the run blitzes on first down and hoping they catch either a run and play or a little play action pass from Kelly. And they're doing a pretty good job disrupting them right now.
All right, on the other hand, somebody could say, look, Buffalo comes in here an 11.5-point favorite. Denver gets some opportunities. Cragen made the great interception. They get 3 makeable field goals. Reasonable to assume they could have made 2 of those 3. They could be up 6-0, maybe 9-0. Do those blown opportunities haunt you when you're this big of an underdog?
Well, I think they might wind up haunting Denver, but I have to give credit to Buffalo's defense, too. Denver's had tremendous field position the whole first half, and Buffalo, somehow or another, the missed kicks, has been able to hold them out of the end zone. So Buffalo's defense is surviving pretty well also.
Before the first 2 missed kicks, there were sacks, one by Wright and one by Smith. They didn't take Denver out of field goal range, but they did make the field goal attempts by Treadwell longer.
No, but he had plenty of distance. He just missed the kick, hit the pole a couple of times. But Buffalo's got to feel pretty good about their chances, too.
All right, now up next, as we continue at halftime from Buffalo, we'll show you just how we settle the score in our season-long upset special selections. Will McDonough gets to live the good life as we come back after this.
When American drug agents landed in Colombia, they had one mission: to take out the world's most powerful cocaine cartel. This is the story of their war and their victory. Drug war.